Hey everybody, I'm Steph.
I'm Michael.
Today we have our top 10 games that we learned in May of 2023. It is currently May 31st, but you know what? I know that Michael and I aren't going to learn any games tonight, so
I mean,
do this a day early.
it's already 8 o'clock. There's only 4 more hours left in the month. Chances are low that we're going to learn something new in the next 4 hours. So this actually gives people a spoiler for what's going to be on your worst to best new to your blog.
Hopefully being posted Monday. Since I have not yet written anything for it. In order. That's about it.
You want to do a Friday?
No, I like having like a big blog on Monday.
Nice.
So people like to read things Monday. So we'll go for Monday. And
so for those of you who don't know, Steph writes a blog that she generally publishes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Board Game Geek called All the Meeples of the Rainbow. You'll notice Steph and I we generally will wear those t-shirts from time to time. And if you need a link to all the things, here it is. Oh, so someone already posted. Oh, the Nightbot already posted it, but there's the link to all the things. Linktree/BoardGamerSteph.
Yep. So check out all the stuff. May was a pretty good month. We learned some good ones and some bad ones. There's always that amount.
This was the month for BGG Spring, as I'm wearing that BGG Spring 2023 t-shirt.
Just got back.
Yeah.
I learned about 53 games, I think it was.
I learned 48 new games this month. So I'm up to the high 270s. You're at the high 200s. You're at the very high 200s.
I'm at 290.
I think I'm at 260-ish.
Yeah.
For the year. So I'll definitely hit 500.
Yes.
You will probably hit 6 or 7.
No, I don't want to.
So, on top of the pile of the 48 games that I have played.
Yes.
There is one that I should say would have been on the list last month. It is a game that I played for the first time last month, but I could not talk about it last month. In fact, I don't think we could talk about it until today. And it is a game that we played with a 14-player group at BGG Spring, and it is called Challengers 2.
It might be on my list. I might have put it on my list.
Well, technically, it was played in April 2023.
Couldn't talk about it then.
So
about it now.
I think that's an asterisk.
Yeah, but I don't care.
She can do what she wants, but I think that would be an asterisk. Anyway, not a big deal because you can do with it as you want. I'm just saying this is why it's not going to be on my list, because it would have been on last month, and it can't be on this month because I didn't play it for the first time in May. Now, for those of you who don't know, our top 10 list are not games that were published in May 2023. They could have been published whenever. These are games that we have been new to us in this past month.
Yes.
So let's start off with my number 10. Oh, hey, and if you want to see any of these games that we play, we do a full teach and play through of at least 3 games a night every Wednesday and Sunday evening at 5 p.m. Central on twitch.tv/BoardGamerSteph.
Yep. So join us over there on Twitch, and let's have your number 10, Michael.
My number 10 is actually, it is not a review game.
Nope.
It is a re-implementation of Campaign Manager 2008 called Sola Fide, the Reformation from Stronghold Games.
Yep.
So for those of you who have never played Campaign Manager 2008, it is basically a struggle back and forth, area control sort of game. And in Campaign Manager, it is basically the presidential struggle between Democrat and Republican side. I believe it was, I don't know, Obama and McCain or something. So, but this is the war with the Protestants versus the Catholics, trying to sort of wrestle control away from the Roman Catholic Church. So, in this game, you've got a pyramid of 10 tiles. The first 3 of them are out. Anytime that you complete one of the top ones, the 2 under them will open, or 1 under if there's only 1 under remaining. And we keep going until area control is 1 for each of these. And in order to do that, you've got to play cards and take actions to try to sway control to one side or the other. I'm not sure if the deck is symmetric or slightly asymmetric.
I think they're a little different.
I think they're
because usually war cards, and I had effects based on when you played those cards. So I think they're asymmetric.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you're trying to place your control cubes on a noble's side or a commoner's side. And one side or the other will have control in a district. If you can fill up one side, either nobles or commoners, with your discs at the same time that control is leaning or all the way over on that side. So you fill up the noble side and the nobles have control of the region. Boom, you've won that tile. You take it and we reveal more. Basically, we go through that until all of them are taken. But it does the re-implementation rather well. Now, the question is, which one should you keep, this one or Campaign Manager 2008? And ultimately, after looking at the rules, I think I prefer everything that Campaign Manager 2008 has. It has much brighter colors. It has extra game mechanics. I think this is designed to be more streamlined.
Yeah, it definitely felt more streamlined and pretty simple.
You haven't played Campaign Manager.
Right. But I like the fact that it was kind of streamlined. So,
Yeah.
Adding extra rules for things, it's probably good, but this is probably better to learn the system and what's happening. So I think there is a place for this game.
Absolutely. And if I didn't have Campaign Manager, I would be happy to keep Sola Fide, the Reformation. It is a fine game. I just didn't think I needed both of them in the collection. I think the Campaign Manager is, brighter colored, and that draws me in.
Yeah.
And I know area control or area dominance is not your jam.
In general, no.
But I enjoy it, and I like the struggle.
Happy to learn it, yeah.
Yeah, I like the back and forth struggle with trying to take control of the regions and trying to focus on one versus another.
Yep.
And that makes this game a solid choice, I think. So be sure to check out Sola Fide, the Reformation from Stronghold Games.
Yeah. Cool. Well, my number 10 is a quick game that we played on stream a few times called Magic Rabbit, which I think the cover's actually since changed since this.
Yeah, it looks different. Like, what is that?
This game, you just set a 2-minute timer, 2-minute 30-second timer, I think, and you have to cooperatively work together to get the hats and the bunnies that match those hats in order from 1 to 9.
Speed, yeah.
It's a speed game, but you only get so much information at a time, and you can't talk about what you've seen. You get pesky doves in your way. As you play through the game, if you do well your first game or second game, you can advance and do harder and harder levels. I like that they have different scenarios,
yeah,
and, levels of difficulty. We managed to.
Hey, you got a cat.
Yeah,
that's trying to get the doves, and
you have to manage the doves and the cat, and now it's oh gosh. And so we played through all of the easy level additions, and now I'm these are so hard. We barely got through those, so playing through the next level is going to be even harder, more of a challenge. So
there's 3 envelopes, 1, 2, and 3. We got through 1.
Yeah, it's a cute little game. I mean, it's fast, and so you can just play it at any time.
And easy to teach other people how to play.
It's so cute.
It really is.
And colorful. So It's an attractive game.
Yeah.
I like it. So yeah, that is from Alley Cat Games.
That's right.
Yeah, Magic Rabbit.
My number 9 game is from Board and Dice, who we were just talking about earlier before the stream, and it is Books of Time. It is rather unique in how you are actually adding pages to your books. You're creating them on the fly. And so on your turn, you're either going to take the actions that's on certain parts of your book, or you're going to advance all of your books one page and then take a minor sort of thing that's on it, or you're going to turn one book all the way back to the start, taking the minor bonuses as you go all the way back to the book, or you're going to acquire and add these pages to your books. There's going to be 3 different books that you have, like a green and a pink and a yellow book, and you're trying to add them in, sometimes in certain orders, in order to fulfill objectives. So I think it's really interesting and unique how these pages go in there. It's also sort of weird, though, that whenever you add a page, you have to add it in wherever you are. You can't add it wherever you want to. And that can sometimes make it difficult if your page is not where you want it in the book. That means you're going to have to take a different action in order to advance the pages or turn the pages back so you can slot that page exactly where you want it.
Yeah, one color scores specifically for the order, so you want them to be in order. But then again, the page you're adding gives you a new action, which you might not want. You might want the action.
You might not want the action,
so
yeah.
It's one of those management games where you have to figure out the order you want to do all these different things.
Right.
So it's an interesting puzzle.
Right. Now, my one complaint about the game is that the green actions seem to be the same as the the pink actions, which seem to be the same as the yellow actions. And it just, to me, you can't, maybe it's my inexperience with the game, but it doesn't seem like you can form a cohesive strategy going, oh, I'm going to get the green ones. And the green ones, as we all know, focus on X. There is no X that it is focused on because it's the same as the other pages. The only difference being that maybe I'm getting certain other symbols for the pink book, certain other symbols for the yellow book. Do I get the symbols? Yay. Do I not? Boo.
I mean, I found like you could get more of a certain type of action using like the green, for example.
But split in books.
Yeah. But I mean, I think you can get all of the different types of actions in all the books, but like the green will focus more on one particular type, and then the red will focus on one particular type of something.
If you can find them out there, yes, but they don't always appear like that.
Right.
My green pages were all over the place.
Mm.
You know, they were in the order I wanted them, and they had the symbols I wanted. But I could not build a cohesive strategy around it. Now, if you build a cohesive strategy, you might not get the things in the order, so you miss out on the end game points. So I think this would have gone up a long way on my list if there were cohesive strategies that you could go after that both gave you the book and let you get the end game points. So I think that knocked it down quite a ways on my list. Otherwise, it would have been probably near the top because of the innovative books. And they use those little clip binders where you open up the clip and you put the paper in and you close up the little binder clip. So yeah, I think it could have been a lot better than it was, but as it is, it's still an enjoyable experience.
Yeah, Stacey's like, oh, did I miss Books of Time? You didn't actually miss it. We will be streaming this sometime in the near future.
Yep, it's right there. I see it.
So we will definitely be showing that off because that is a game that's basically due out any day now. And yeah, so I actually really liked it. So I might be talking about that a little bit later. So I probably liked it more than you, which is fine. But yeah,
Stacey, Stacy says she needs to put our live streams in her calendar Wednesday and Sundays at 5 p.m. Central, or we're on the Game Guildies on Mondays at 6 p.m. Central. But yep.
Yep, that's the plan.
Definitely put us on your calendar.
Yes.
Or let the notifications come through, and you'll see when we go live.
Hey, Matsmo, what's up?
Hey, Maz. Your number 9.
My number 9.
You missed my list.
My number 9 is Galaxy Rush. We did just play this on stream like last week or so, 2 weeks ago. This is a 2-player only game where you are basically collecting different types of cards to form sets or to gain speed or just to collect points. So there's the resources and points. So there's played over 4 rounds, and over those 4 rounds, it'll get harder and harder to find discoveries because you're going to need this resources to do so. But you're working towards different end game goals that you see at the beginning of the game. You're also working towards goals that you see in your private prediction list. So you can predict who will have the most discoveries and who will have the least, or whatever the cards you draw. It's a nice little 20-minute 2-player card game to collect different cards. It's nice.
I like the little set collection aspect and the trying to get slightly more distance than your opponent gets, or trying to get slightly better predictions than your opponent does. Yeah. Try to get just a few more points.
Little edge up.
Little edge up. And I mean, that's the way you do in 2-player games, right? Yeah. You try to get that little bit of an edge. I think it does the 2-player experience really well. So if you want to see check out the rules and the playthrough of that, check out our stream, our YouTube channel
recently, so it should be easy to find.
Yep.
All right, that was my number 9.
My number 8 is a game that we just played. We just played on stream.
Just
now. It is Hamlet. Oh, look, it's a twin. Hamlet, the village building game from Mighty Boards. In Hamlet, you are cooperatively but competitively creating a village, and all of the resources in the village are shared. The things that are not shared are your money, your blueprint tiles, and your workers, which consist of your little villagers and your donkeys. And what you're going to do is you're going to use those to create new parts of the village and to create the church in the center of town. And hopefully you have amassed the most victory points by the end, and you get to be named mayor of this cute little village, which would no longer be a hamlet once you have created the church. But they can't call it village because there's already a game called Village.
I think I liked it a little bit better my second play, which was right now.
Yeah.
I liked it a little bit better.
Would it have made your top 10?
Oh.
Maybe you'll have to see your blog to find out.
No, I'm not sure. Because I'm not sure the game is entirely for me, but I didn't mind it.
Right.
I will definitely not seek it out, though.
But it did go up on your list. Now, we've only played it 2-player.
Right. Which I don't think I'd want to play with more, honestly.
So keep in mind that when you go out and you create resources for the village, you're going to get the benefit of creating those resources. However, someone may come along behind you and then use those resources that maybe you wanted in order to get something done. So if someone sort of taking those resources away from you would make you sort of want to rage quit, maybe you want to maybe either play 2-player, which there's less of that, or look elsewhere. But if you don't mind it, it could be a lot of fun. So yeah, I do recommend checking out Hamlet from Mighty Boards.
Yep. My number 8 is Books of Time.
Oh, we barely missed having it right on the same.
Barely. I I think this game is absolutely beautiful. I like the little uh gimmick of the little notebook binders. I think it's super cute. I'm excited to show it off on stream. I do think, that there is not as much cohesiveness with the coloration. Like, I agree with you. It doesn't bother me as it bothers you. I like trying to find the combos. Oh, these cards are out here. If I take this card now, it gets me this paper that I could then use to do this. That will get me this. So there are combos to be had in this game. So I think I like trying to find the combos more than I care about the theme of the different books.
There are some pages that you'll never even use.
Oh, there's tons of pages you won't.
That's what I'm saying. It's sort of.
I mean, I get that. I didn't even use any of my red book.
But I would have, but yeah, that I think that, but that's why it goes down on my ranking a little bit. But and only because of that, there does not seem to be. You don't get to use the stuff enough to where, oh hey, this is my strategy. I just sort of felt like I was just bumping into things and taking the best possible thing at the time.
You're not given a goal to work towards. I mean, you have these different upgraded goal stacks that you can upgrade to get more points, but everybody basically has the same stacks
just different symbols on them.
Different symbols. There's no well, if you do this, you get a bonus 10 points or something.
Or if you do it before someone else,
you'll get extra points.
Yeah, and there's none of that.
There's none of that, and I think it would actually benefit from something like that to give you a little bit of something to strive for. But I think for me the game is pretty good.
Enough to get eighth best and ninth best on our respective lists.
Yeah, I mean, I played some good games this month. There are some, I was hoping this would be the top of my.
I was too.
I was hoping this would be the top.
Right.
It just it doesn't seem quite there, but it doesn't mean it's not good.
Right. I
really like the game.
Yeah. It did, like I say, it did hit ninth and eighth. I think that we were both hoping the potential was higher than that.
Right.
And I think that a lot of it is due to the innovative mechanics that it uses.
Right.
So, yeah, I feel similarly.
But so what bothers you doesn't really bother me.
Right.
It's just a matter of,
But still did not rank much higher for you, though.
Right.
Interesting.
I had some games I really liked.
You did have some good ones, including the asterisks, maybe.
Oh, it's definitely in there. All right, that was my number 8.
Your number 8. My number 7. For those of you who enjoy Patchwork, and this might actually be a little bit of a surprise for you because it is somewhat abstract, but hey, I like tile laying. Yeah. So Stack and Stuff, a Patchwork game from Lookout Games. So Stack and Stuff is just basically a patchwork variant where you're trying to load up a moving truck. First, you're going to stack up all the big stuff, and then you're going to stuff all of the little squishy stuff in all of the little holes that are left over after you've put the big long tiles out. And you're gonna do that similarly to how you do this in Patchwork, where you're going to move along a track, collect income for the different all the different coins you've got on the things that you've drafted. But ultimately, the gameplay works very similarly to Patchwork. Now, in my opinion, having played both Patchwork and Stack and Stuff, I think I'd probably rather keep Stack and Stuff than Patchwork.
I do too. I like that the little tiles come out at the end. Generally, you're going to need the little ones.
The smaller ones, yeah.
Yeah. I think that works nicely.
But still, the big ones remain, and you could get stuck behind a line of big ones, and you're like, I can't really do anything, so I have to just, skip my turn and move, forward past these. Yeah. But that could happen to you in Patchwork as well. Mm-hmm. So that really doesn't bother me. That it does that. I do like that the small ones come out later. So, certainly something worth checking out from Lookout Games.
Yep. My number 7, which I'm surprised may or may not be on your list.
It barely missed my list.
I'm actually really
Spoiler alert.
surprised. I'm surprised. It is Indiana Jones: Sands of Adventure.
Yeah.
We showed this on stream.
I think I had to put Hamlet and Books of Time on there, despite some of my reservations.
Okay.
I think I had to put those on there. This is fun, but yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it.
Well, this one we played on stream. It is a cooperative game with a real-time element. You play the first part of the round in like not real time, but then eventually the bucket will get too heavy and spin, and then you're in real time because there's like this cool gadget thing that this gimmick, but it's so good that it flips the timer, and then you're like, okay, now we have to go. We have to beat up the bad guy. And so you're playing cards one at a time to try and do that. I think the biggest downfall with this game is that there's just not a lot of diversity in from game to game.
That's what I was gonna say.
I think that's probably the biggest problem. Otherwise, I think this game is super fun. Families are gonna love this. I would play this anytime somebody wanted to play it. I think it's a pretty great game. But again, I do think the problem is, well, our play from one play to the next play felt fairly similar, even though we lost the second game or first game, or I don't know, one of the games we lost. But I still think it's super cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we failed on stream. I think that's
yes, we failed on stream.
I think it has like 500 views, and everybody.
Really?
Yeah, wow. I mean, it's been really popular because there's no content on it. But now that there's a video, people are watching it. So I'm excited. So hopefully you like that video.
Yeah.
But I think the game is just in general pretty fun.
I also think it is super fun. The one reason it kept it off my list is that, okay, so there's not really a lot going on there. And it is, to be fair, it is not meant for the gamer crowd. It is meant more for the family casual gamer crowd.
Yeah.
And so when you're playing a card, it's a lot like Uno. You're matching the color or you're matching the symbol.
Right, sure.
Okay, yay, it's fine. I enjoy the mechanics that are there. I enjoy the fact that it switches from a turn-based to a real-time at some random point that is untimed.
Yeah.
I like these things. But you were saying you were surprised it's off my list.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've got to decide whether to put Stack and Stuff, Hamlet, Books of Time, or Sola Fide on the chopping block.
Oh,
and
sure.
I couldn't.
And that's fair. That's why we all like different things.
But that's why both Galaxy Rush and Indiana Jones Sands of Adventure were on my short list to be right there with those games.
Yeah.
So, but ultimately, I agree with you. I think that the whole play same numbered, or same colored or symboled card times 3 bad guys times every game you play, it may not be enough variability in game.
From game.
But I would not turn down a game if someone says, "Hey, let's knock out a quick game of Indiana Jones. Have you played it? Yeah, let's do it."
Yeah, I mean, the game is just fun. As Chicken says, gimmicky works in board games, and it does when it looks cool on the table. It's very thematic. You get to play the characters, and she's holding a frying pan, and it feels like the game, and you gotta look out for snakes.
Yeah.
Why'd it have to be snakes?
Well, Dan says that Indiana Jones subscribes to the Devo method.
Oh.
Yeah. Because when a problem comes along, you must whip it.
Whip it. Oh. So that was my number 7. So fun.
Yeah. Chicken Bar says, just look at Zolkin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We should one day I want to pop out Steph's Zolkin tile gears because you painted them. You painted your Zolkin gears.
So good. We should play it.
We should not only show it off, we should probably play it. That does seem like a good thing to do.
I want to.
So, my number 6 is, I think did we play this? We did play this on stream.
We did.
Rome in a Day from Red Cat and Alley Cat Games. So in Rome for a Day, you are going to be, you have a set of tiles that comes out. buildings will go on some of those tiles, and then you put them on the screen and do a I split, you choose sort of thing. Then you offer tiles up to your neighbor. Your other neighbor offers tiles to you. You choose what you want. You get back what didn't get taken. You put all these together onto your display and trying to make sets next to buildings colored with those sets. And you're going to get points for each of those buildings that are next to or on top of those colored regions. Super quick. It's I know that there are a lot of games out there that what was that game that we played that has the stone tiles where you score off of sets of things? You're building them, stacking them up. You know what I'm talking about, or no?
Acropolis?
Acropolis, yes.
Okay.
There have been a lot of short games like this come out that are fast in playtime and have this sort of score this times this equals your score for this type of building. I think this is about as fast as you can get.
It's clean.
And do it well. We are big fans of Acropolis.
For sure.
I think if you enjoy Acropolis, you'll probably enjoy this as well, I think. What do you say?
I 100% agree. I taught this to Jonathan. He's like, yeah, this is an instant buy. We play Acropolis a lot. It's on Thursday night gaming.
It's short and simple.
Yeah.
It's not super complex. There's not a whole lot of stack this and do this. I think Acropolis would be a big brother. I think this is as simple as you can get and still be enjoyable and not boring. So this definitely makes my list for number 6 of the month.
Yep.
Rome in a Day from Red Cat and Alley Cat.
Yep. All right, my number 6.
Alex says, I heard Acropolis, man. That game is so good.
Yes. It really is, yeah. We all like that one. My number 6 is Ierusalem, which is a fairly heavy Euro game that we will stream hopefully soon before we forget all the rules.
No, I won't forget. It's a good one.
It is a good one. It's it's thematic. Michael will probably get into it if and when he starts explaining it. But for me, I like it. It's a challenge because you want to get all your followers to the Last Supper to be close to all the cool people at the Last Supper.
I hear there were a few cool people at the Last Supper.
There were cool people there.
And your followers want to be sitting as close as possible to those cool people.
Yeah, that's right.
Either behind certain apostles or behind the man Jesus himself. You want to make sure to position everyone in a certain place.
So
you're going to get bonuses based on where you sit.
You're doing this by selecting cards that you're playing, and there's sort of multi-use cards because you're going to get something at the top, you're going to get something at the bottom, so you have to time out when you play these cards and what's happening with everybody else. And it's a little bit different for 2 players than it is with 3 and 4 players because of the way the board works. But we played a 2-player, and it's fairly solid. There's a lot of good decisions to be made, and it's hard.
So everyone starts off with the same deck of cards. Someone once described this as deck building with amnesia. Basically, what they mean by that is you are going to get cards from a display. They will eventually make it to your hand, and at that point, you have to when you play it, you're going to get rid of it. So you're not really deck building. Basically, those will give, remember when Steph said that you're going to get top actions and bottom actions. Your basic cards just have one bottom action, but the ones you get from the display might have 2 or 3 different bottom actions, which basically is like having 2 or 3 or 4 turns, boom, boom, boom in a row like that. It's really cool how you can combo these things together. So you can play certain things to seat apostles at the table, or maybe switch 2 followers' seats. or
Well, to place apostles, you're gonna need to get your cards in order. We need 3 cards, specific cards in order,
yes,
and then you unlock them to go.
Which-
and then you get bonuses.
you have to decide.
Yeah.
Do I place this card here and not be able to start my set to invite the apostle I want?
Right.
Or do I hold off on this and play the right one? Or
Right.
do I play another card later that lets me swap all my cards and maybe, hey, then I can make my apostle set? And there's a set collection aspect where you're trying to listen to all of Jesus's parables. There is one of the apostles, Judas, that if you set someone down behind Jesus, it's minus points instead of plus points.
Judas, yeah.
Yes, that's what I said.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to sit behind Judas.
No.
So, and you messed me up on the game that we played.
It wasn't me.
It was you.
Might have been.
And we ended up tying. Like what we did, 2 totally different things, and we tied, and you won on the tiebreaker.
And we ended at like
231 to 231. It was huge.
30-something points.
It was big.
We tied.
We tied.
Doing totally different strategies.
Yes. And I thought that was interesting.
Dang. How is that even possible? But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yep.
I need to play it again. But
yeah, definitely looking forward to playing it again, to seeing if it goes up or down on my list. There is, like I said, the placement aspect. With 2 and 3 players, is it with 3 players as well? I know it is with 2 players. You've got
2 players.
neutral players out there, and you can actually move things around
to try and get clustered.
To try to get clusters of. And so, like, we play red and blue.
Right.
We have yellow and green on the board already.
Right.
But when you move a yellow and you put them with a bunch of yellows, you get points. Green, same thing. So I think the game is going to be somewhat different if you're playing it with 2 players versus playing it with 4 players. And I'm actually looking forward to doing that, because you want to have the neutral ones on the board.
It's different because you'll have to give out favors to people.
Yes.
So that's where the difference is when you're playing with more than 2 people.
Right. Because if you give someone a favor, you're going to get something right now, but I'm going up this favor track.
Right.
So, and that is actually one of the tiebreakers. And in a 2-player game, there are no favors.
Right.
As there shouldn't be, because in a 2-player game, you're just giving straight points to one player. I think it's better with 3 or 4 to have a mechanic like that. I'm glad that they found a way to cut that out of a 2-player game and still make the puzzle enjoyable.
Right.
So, good job to DeVere on dealing with Ierusalem Anno Domini.
Yep, that was my number 6.
All right. My number 5 is My City Roll and Build from Cosmos.
Yeah.
In My City Roll and Build, you're going to roll these big chunky dice, and then based on how the dice come up, you're going to fit them together, and everyone is going to create that shape. You're also going to either be putting X's or little crosshatches on it or whatever that mean nothing in the first game, but might mean something in later games. Just like in My City, you're trying to not build over your forest and definitely build over your rocks. And so you're trying to find the right placements for everything. For those of you who have played My City, you're going to find the rules to be rather familiar. But you're just going to do everything roll and write style instead of...
I think you're going to make the different patterns on the tiles, but like if you use a different color, it's basically representing the different color, I think.
Yes, that's exactly what the little X's and the little crosshatches and stuff are. But like I say, doesn't mean anything on the first scenario that you do. And you do have multiple scenarios like you do in My City. We just haven't gotten there yet. But we've played enough to know that if it's going to be similar to how My City turned out, then this is going to be this has, I think, as with any game with content we have not yet unlocked, this has the potential to go up or down on the list. I suspect up.
Yeah, and I think that, in the box, you also get extra sheets for each level. So if you like something, you can go back to it and do it again. So I think that's really nice as well.
I agree.
But yeah, I'm excited to play through that for sure.
Stacy says, my city was this a surprise hit for me this year. I really want to try this one. Yes. Yes, you do.
Yes, you
For
do.
sure. That is my number 5 from Cosmos.
All right, my number 1.
Your number 1?
I mean, my number
How about your number 5?
5. Where are we?
We're on this one right here.
Michael thinks I'm a cheater, but I don't care.
This game is an asterisk.
Challengers too. I couldn't talk about it in April. That's actually when I learned it. So I'm talking about it in May, and I don't care. It was announced actually today. So
It would have made my April list.
oh, for sure, it would have made mine.
It also would have made my May list.
And it did make my May list because I want to talk about it because it's Challengers. It's so good.
Cheating.
So it plays just like Challengers 1. It has all new cards. It's a standalone game. So you can just buy this one and not the other one.
What?
Michael, no. Also included in the box is stop. Also,
I know you didn't play it this month.
it's fine.
Hello, everybody. I'm Senior Executive Producer of this show.
No, this is my segment.
Whoa. So rude.
Challengers 2 also comes with player abilities that you get to use. I know, it's so cool. So you're going to have an ongoing ability for the whole game. You can mix and match the 2 games, or you could have one big 16-player tournament style, 1 table versus 1 table. Essentially, you're going to have 2 from each table fight in the final battles. So it's just fun all around. I love Challengers, and I hope to see more people playing it.
I think Challengers is super fun. Challengers 2 is extra fun because the player powers are awesome, and being able to combine Challengers 1 and 2 to make the what do you call it? They call it a Giga Challenge, I think is what it is.
Yeah, something like that.
Where so in Challengers 1, the top player plays the second top place player with regards to fans. They're going to play the final championship. Well, in Challengers 2, if you do the Giga Championship, top and number 1 rank on one table plays number 2 rank on the other table, and number 1 rank on this table plays number 2 rank on the other table, and then the winners of those will have the
Face
ultimate championship.
Yeah.
The final countdown.
No, go back to your hole.
Nope.
Challengers 2, so fun. Super excited to learn that and play it. And yeah.
Nice.
Excited to see that one get released. I don't know if it's planned for Gen Con or Essen, but one of those 2, I assume.
You guys definitely want to play it. If you enjoyed Challengers 1, then you will enjoy Challengers 2. Now, for those of you who don't know about Challengers, if I told you deck building war, you would tell me, no, I don't want to play it. If it has anything to do with war, you got to play it. You got to play it to understand how much fun it is. I mean, you and I enjoy deep games. Deep games.
Deep.
And this is not as light as it sounds. It really isn't. But it's
people
super
say
fun.
It's a party game. I mean, I guess I could see it being a party game, but it's not that light. I mean, it's I would say it's like borderline party game, but not really. I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, it is tough.
I don't know. It's in its own category. A family game / party game. It's like on the line of those.
Yeah, and I think we played it at BGG Spring, the Giga tournament.
Yeah.
With 14 people, and there were some people that I know play deeper games, and he was like, "Yeah, this is an insta buy for me."
It's so fun.
Yeah. So, we have a question. Next to the Moon says, "What's the smallest sized game collection that you think you would need if you could only play those games for the rest of your lives?" I don't know. Why
limit?
Why limit yourself? It's like one of those desert island questions. What are your top 10 games that you would play if you could only play those games for the rest of your life? We're probably the wrong people to ask because I think we have 2,100, maybe after the charity sale, we're at 2,200 games.
Yeah, it's a lot of games.
Well, yeah, exactly.
A lot of games.
So, yeah. We like B-side games. What are B-side games? I don't know. Maybe I do. I like auto games. So, my number 4. Oh, hey, I didn't mean to do this.
What?
But this is a number 4 game.
I see.
With a number 4 in the title. For those of you who enjoy all of the Ganshon Clever games, we have Clever Forever by Schmidtspiel and Stronghold Games. So in Clever Forever, it follows the same sort of cycle as the other Clever games have, in that you are rolling dice, taking 3 of them and offering the rest of the dice to the other players on the silver platter. And speaking of silver platter, this version introduces a new sort of bonus mechanic called the silver platter, where you can take a die on the silver platter and go and increase or decrease the value of the die on the platter by 1. And this is another one of those abilities like reroll and +1 that you can use to modify
when you're drafting
those dice. Okay. You're still going to have the reroll. You're still going to have the +1. You're still going to have the foxes.
Yep.
And you're still going to have the same 6 colors that you're going to use for your stuff. So
yeah, it's nice. I think I like this second best. I think I still like Doppelt best, which is the second one.
Right.
That's still my favorite, but I think I like this one second best.
Which is twice as clever in English. Doppelt in German. What was the third one?
Cubed.
Yes, clever cubed, and this is Clever Forever.
Yeah.
Which, interestingly enough, I think there's not a German title because it doesn't work unless you use the English Clever Forever. So I think that's interesting. This was your number 5 last month.
Yeah.
So in a really crowded month. So you love it.
I really liked it.
I love it. And number 4 on my list. Clever Forever.
Makes sense.
Yep.
My number 4 is one we've already talked about, called Rome in a Day. I liked it a little bit more than you, but for me, this is just a 10-minute awesome tile drafting split game. I do wish there were more I split you choose mechanics, because this is super good.
Cinco de Clever next.
I like it.
And you'll take your standard 13%, right, Stacy?
Yep.
Are you listening, Schmidt? Schmidt. Don't do that to the puppet.
I wish there were more I Split You Choose games.
Do you know who the executive producer is?
You gonna let me talk?
You're so rude, Azul.
Yeah.
I'm the producer. I do what I want.
Mm-hmm. You can go back to your chair.
Whoa.
Go to sleep. Yeah. Rome in a Day. It plays in 10 minutes. It's great. I Split You Choose. There's literally 4 rounds to collect tiles, and then it's over. And so fast. Good decisions. Streamlined. What more can you ask for in a small game? I love it.
I'm not tired.
I love it. Play it.
My number 3, I'm still not tired, is from Devere. We've already talked about it. It's Ierusalem Anno Domini. Again, I enjoy the cards with the different actions on them, collecting the bread and the fish resources, paying them to basically get your way to the seat of your choice. There are some people. I don't know if it is real outrage or manufactured outrage of, oh, hey, why would you be bribing in order to try to get into, the same, table area as Jesus and the disciples? That doesn't seem like a real Christian thing. It's a game, guys. There's a lot of Christian themed board games out there that totally suck. And this game is really, really fun. So just play it. Don't think too hard about it. And I'm a Christian. Doesn't bother me one bit. I think that there are worse things in the world than to worry about someone bribing somebody in order to sit close to an apostle just to be able to hear the words of Jesus. Doesn't bother me one bit. So I don't have time for, thinking about and creating controversy in board games. I just play the games and have fun.
Yep.
So, yeah. Jovia says, you say that, Azul, until Steph adds a send Azul away option for channel points.
That's right.
So rude. Who would do that?
Me.
No.
Yep.
You're the one with the asterisks.
Nope.
So, yes. Your number 3.
My number 3 is actually combined.
Constancia says, we all know our true Lord and Savior is
Senor Azul.
That's me. There's Constancia. Fist bump.
Go back to your hole. I'm talking here.
Okay. I see everybody. Fist bump.
Come back later.
Yeah.
Come back later.
I mean, people on video did say that they haven't seen enough of Senor Azul.
Oh, we've all seen enough of Senor Azul.
So there's some Senor Azul.
Don't worry. I'm with you.
Everybody loves Azul.
He'll come back later.
He will come back later.
My number 3 is actually 2 games combined. I'm a cheater again. This is double asterisk top 10.
You know what? I have so many channel points. I'm not worried about spending them because this game is also an asterisk.
Come on.
Look, the last four things have been asterisk channel point redemptions.
Choose to put Linkto, travel, and food combined in one. They're technically 2 games, but they kind of give you the similar feeling.
They do.
I mean, so I'm combining them into one grouping in my 3rd position because they are so much fun. We played this on stream with many of our viewers out there, and I think everybody was really enjoying it. Aldi went out and got a copy to play. Everybody was really enjoying it. So when we played with James and Susan, they wanted to play the travel one.
They wanted to play all of it.
I mean, it's a game you just play. So there's 5 different levels of difficulty in the box, and so basically you can play 5 times.
But that the only limiting factor is that you can only play 5 times. But I mean, if you could play a game on your shelf 5 times, you've gotten great enjoyment out of it. Am I right?
People buy exit games and unlock games for the same price, and that's only 1 play.
1 play.
So you can get 5 plays of Linkto, and it's like a $12 game. So I mean,
and you can then you can sell it to somebody else who's gonna love it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just this game is just fun. It's a cooperative game where you are going to be asked questions, and then you have to find the appropriate answer and kind of combine them, link them, if you will. And you're going to be left over with 1 result at the end. And hopefully you'll flip over the answer card and you'll see that it's the correct result. If it's not, well, you've done something wrong along the way. But you also have to go back and check all your answers because you don't know what you've gotten right or wrong. Sometimes you might have made a guess, or there's games that we've played where, like, we got that wrong. Okay, what else did we get wrong? Oh my goodness, I didn't know.
Right.
But you can't know everything. I mean, I certainly don't know anything. I was just happy that we could play the food one with Susan, who's like a chef and like, who knows things about food. I'm like, I don't know anything about food, so I'm not the person to play this game.
You are the anti-foodie.
Yeah, basically.
I love
what I've learned
food.
is basically from Food Network. That's it. So any of my knowledge that was helpful was from that.
Yeah.
But
That said, we enjoyed moderating it for y'all on stream. So for those of you who haven't seen it, go check out our stream where we played it with everyone on chat.
Yes.
And that's after we knew the answers. So
it was a little different too, because
yes,
it's not all travel vehicles or whatever. It's not all places. It's a mixture of different combinations of things, whereas food is all food things. So it's interesting. Says I think they'll do more of these little boxes. I hope they do.
I hope so.
Because I've really enjoyed it as it made my number 3 position. You can probably guess that.
They could do a geography one. They could do, all sorts of different.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
A historical one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it would be really fun. So, yeah, and it's not just straight trivia because you have to, you match up this question with this answer and then maybe you'll switch it up. The
answer is always in front of you, which is nice. You don't have to actually know anything.
That's correct.
Cooking with Chef Azul. Oh my goodness.
You might want to do that.
Matt said it was fun.
You have some people Stacy's throwing shade at you.
Shade.
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 We are on my number 2. Here's another game we've already played on stream.
Yes.
And did not make your list.
I knew you would like this. I actually thought this might be number 1.
I almost was.
Okay, what is it?
My number 2 is Votes for Women by Fort Circle Games. So in Votes for Women, it is very much Twilight Struggle-ish in that you have these cards that you have in your hand. It's asymmetric decks. One person is playing for the suffragist, and one player is playing as the anti-suffragists, trying to stifle the votes of women. And you're basically trying to tug of war back and forth, gaining support in the regions all over the U.S. and trying to get the 19th Amendment to be considered by the states and then passed by 2/3 majority of the states, and so or 3/4, whatever it is for an amendment to be passed. So once there are enough check marks or X's on the map, the game is won or lost. If the game has not been won before the end of it, then we go down to basically a final voting thing where you're rolling dice to try to gain that last little bit of advantage. I enjoy the Twilight Struggle-ish sort of aspect of it, where you can use a card for its text, or you can use a card to gain support, or you can use a card to try to advance the support in Congress. So I think that this game really works well. So
it's fairly thematic too. I do think it's a really solid game. It's just not really my type of game. There was a question from Next to the Moon. Do you think this game would have been better as a co-op game, similar to Underground Railroad, for example? I mean, I love Underground Railroad. I think that's a great game. If they did make this into a cooperative game, I think it would be a different game, but I also think it could work.
It could absolutely work.
There is a solo game in there too, so you could play solo.
You could play against the Automa. That said, I think that this game really lends itself to the tug, push and pull sort of aspect, in that historically there were people who did not want women to gain the right to vote, and I think that this game accurately reflects that. It's not just a game working against you. I myself do not have a problem playing the side of the evil side. Because I mean, let's think about this. I mean, we have games where, in Star Wars where you're playing the dark side. I mean, the dark side in Star Wars did a bunch of bad things.
Play War of the Ring, you would have to be the bad guy.
Yeah,
because I'm not to be the Fellowship. There's no question.
Well, sometimes I want to be the Fellowship.
No, you have to play with James.
But somebody has to be Sauron, am I right? Now, let's think about it. You could have a co-op Lord of the Rings game. In fact, one actually exists. But there also is a game where the Fellowship is playing against the forces of Sauron. And you've got to have one versus the other in that game. Both games are good. So I think that there could be a co-op version of this done differently. And it would also be fine. But I enjoy what this does and the way that it does it. So the Eye of Azul. The Eye of Azul is watching you. Yeah. So,
nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Chicken Barf says every World War II game, there's got to be a Nazi. That's right. I did not see that coming.
Hey, Cold Hearted Senpai, how is it going? Long time.
Hello, Senpai.
Yeah, we're doing great.
We are doing our top 10 games of May 2023. So yeah, there's got to be a good guy and a bad guy, or a good group and bad group. There's got to be forces that go against each other. Otherwise, everything is just sort of bland and.
Well, that's where you get like.
You have to have.
Can be the
conflict.
bad guy.
You can in some cases.
Yeah.
But in order for there to, a game cannot accurately do what, the sort of moves that a human can do.
Yeah, of course.
So
Cold Hearted Senpai will be on the bad side.
I mean, I am also the traitor usually. I can be a bad guy on my board game persona and not be a bad guy in real life, or not even condone all the bad guy stuff in real life. It's a game, guys. It's a game. So, does this make Steph the bad guy to Azul's good guy? Yes, she's the puppet poker.
Well, no, because currently we're on the same side because he's not talking to Michael.
Yeah, because I left him at home instead of taking him to BGG Con.
Yep.
So, yeah, he's not happy with me right now.
In any case, votes for women is fairly solid. I think it will work for a lot of people. I
think so as well. But it didn't make your list.
It didn't make my list mostly.
But still, you enjoyed it some.
I enjoyed it, and I see the good game there. It's just really not my type of game.
It totally is my type of game. Because, I like Twilight Struggle.
I thought this would be your number one, not gonna
lie. Hey, number one must be really good. Speaking of which, let's go to your number two.
Which actually...
It actually is my number one.
It is your number one. So, how about that?
How about that? My number one is your number one.
No,
my number one is your number two.
Yeah, so we can...
Who does number two work for?
It's probably the prettiest cover of the month.
It really is.
It's probably the prettiest cover of the year. It is called Galileo Project.
That's right.
Galileo.
Galileo Figaro. No. Mamma mia. So, Galileo Project. You are trying.
Solid.
You're trying to colonize the 4 of the moons of Jupiter, and in order to do that, you've got to hire people and build robots that can help to colonize these 4 moons. Certain robots can only go on certain moons, and in order to acquire any of these things, you have to have either Mars influence or Earth influence. And I think that is a really clever sort of way to do all this stuff, is to have it's basically just 2 different currencies, Mars currency and Earth currency. And then with the gambling chips behind that, in order to,
nice
you have
for
to spend
me.
one chip to transfer, 5 Mars to 5 Earth. I think it's done super well. If you did not get a chance to view the rules and playthrough, we do have it on your YouTube channel.
Yep.
And so be sure to check that out.
Yeah, I think the best part about this game for me is the way that the track is used to manage your Earth versus Mars. I think that's a really clever way. Like if you need to get like people influence from Mars point of view, then you have to be on the Mars track. Or if you want to pick up robots from Mars, you have to be on the Mars track. And so you have to manage this well, and you'll see the different like cards that are out, and if they're all pink, then Mars is where you need to be on which track. But you're also trying to manage your tracks on the different moons, and so you're trying to get
the track stuff is great.
Yeah, we love the tracks. And so by gaining this robot over here, you're gaining this much levels to advance your technology on that moon. And so you're unlocking new things, getting cool bonuses. The game is pretty snappy once you get going because, the game will trigger once somebody gets their 10th robot or the people deck is out.
And focusing on robots increases that power. That's interesting too.
Yeah, each robot has its own ability. So if you collect more than one of them, they keep stacking in their abilities.
But you can't just get one because then you sort of stifle the rest of your gameplay. I think that this game it's elegant how it works together. And I know you agree because you did this number 2.
I mean, I think this is super solid and it's beautiful. It helps.
Yes. Love.
Look at the cover. It's just so stunning.
It pops.
It pops.
It's so good.
This is, I hope it's not a game that goes under the radar because I do hope that people get to play it. I saw it being played at BGG Con at least once, but.
Could easily have expansions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really a good one. So there's it's easy because you're either doing one of 3 things and it's usually not the third thing. So one of 2 things.
Which is build a robot or hire a dude.
That's it. Yeah. And so it's very simple, except all the little icons, which, that's where the game is, figuring out the combos you can do and how you can upgrade to get what you need and want. It's nice.
Yeah.
Super nice.
Super elegant.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, there's a question for you in the chat.
I meeting some friends over the weekend, and we're looking for a trader board game for 6 to 8 people. I don't know about quick or available.
Let him think on that while I do my last. It's one more thing.
Well, there is Station Fall. It is not necessarily trader, but it's hidden role. Station Fall is our new. My new super fun hidden role game, Station Fall. So far it's probably my game of the year. So Nemesis was my game of the year last year.
Mosaic
was last year. Nemesis was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So Nemesis and Station Fall both.
It depends on
totally
how advanced gamers they are.
Right. Now, of course, you can't play Nemesis 6 players, but
yeah. We should finish this out.
Yeah, so I just wanted to no, I don't have to think. I just said it.
Okay.
So we got it. We're good. Now you're number 1.
My number 1.
You're number 1.
I didn't get it ready.
No, you didn't get it ready.
I didn't get it ready.
No, you're too busy trying to throw shade at me. That's fine. Whatever you want to do. AKA Chip in Space.
That's right.
Yes, I love the Astro Chimp. All right. You're number 1. Now you're ready.
My City roll and build.
Big surprise, not because you have played a buttload of My City.
I'm so excited for this. I love roll and rights. I love the ease of play. This is just hits all the right spots. I actually didn't think anything would pass Galileo Project, but then we played My City roll and build.
And there it was.
Instant love.
So
it was an automatic high ranking for me pretty much. I didn't think it could do anything wrong. We haven't even played that much, but I already know. I already know it's something I love.
No.
It's my type of game. I love that you can work through the different levels and more rules could become available. It's everything I love. It just is. So, yeah, super solid. I can't wait to play it on stream. Maybe we'll do that next tonight. I don't know. Sometime in the near future, we will play this and
That's right.
show it off for everybody.
That's right. So, in summary, my number 10, Sola Fide, The Reformation from Stronghold. Number 9, Books of Time by Board and Dice. Hamlet, the village building game from Mighty Boards, was my number 8. My number 7, Stacking Stuff, a patchwork game from Lookout Games. Number 6, Roman a Day from Red Cat and Alley Cat. My number 5, My City Roll-In Build from Cosmos. Number 4, Clever Forever from Schmitz Spiel and Stronghold. I guess Stronghold gets 2 of my.
I do, yeah.
Yeah. Number 3, Ierusalem, Anno Domini from Devere. Number 2, Votes for Women by Fort Circle Games. And number 1, Galileo Project. Sorry, we are French.
My number
I didn't say that.
was Magic Rabbit from Alley Cat Games. Number 9, Galaxy Rush from Last Night Games. Number 8 is Books of Time from Board and Dice. Number 7 is Indiana Jones Sands of Adventure from Funko. Number 6 is Ierusalem, Anno Domini from Devere. Number 5 is Challengers 2 from Z-Man Games. Number 4, Roman a Day from Alley Cat Games. Number 3 is Linkto Travel/Food, both of them combined in one from Hachette and Randolph. Number 2, Galileo Project, Sorry We Are French. And number 1, My City Roll and Build from Cosmos.
So Alley Cat gets your publisher award this month.
I mean, yeah, they got
Stronghold gets mine, so yeah.
Yeah.
So
like
we have a question in the chat about Ticket to Ride Legacy. We will talk about that after the stream wraps up, but we do want to remind everyone who are watching us after the fact, hey, come check us out on twitch.tv/BoardGamerSteph and come join the chat and the live discussion, like what we're going to talk about with Ticket to Ride Legacy. We're on every Sunday and Wednesday evenings at 5 p.m. Central. And you can also catch us on the Game Guildies channel on Twitch at 6 p.m. Central on Mondays. So if you aren't already watching, come watch us there. If you've missed our other top 10s, why have you missed them? But if you have, check us out on your YouTube channel, Steph. And if you can access her Twitch page, then you can access all of her pages. So be sure to come join us.
Cool.
Even Senor Azul.
I guess. He's invited sometimes. All right. We will be right back over here on Twitch at Board Gamer Stuff.
See you next month.
Yeah.